Welcome to Write Your Narrative, your weekly go-to street art podcast.
There's just so much culture and life in South Florida.
Art helped me find myself.
I can sit here and complain that Miami doesn't have any of these things, or I can find a way to do it.
This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
We have changed the conversation.
You're in the right place.
So welcome everyone to the podcast. Welcome to Write Your Narrative. Are we in Wynwood? Are we in Broward County? Are we in Miami? Are we in... Doesn't matter where we are. But my guest today is someone who's been documenting, taking photos throughout the country. He's traveling a lot and his Instagram is booming. I have my good friend Brian, also known as the Kaotik 954. I guess we're in Broward.
You got it. We gave it away.
We gave it away. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing excellent. I'm not sure if the location is that secret anymore. The Chaotic Clubhouse, you know.
Chaotic Clubhouse.
I feel like we had an open door policy here, you know.
Okay.
So we've had quite a few visitors over the years since 2018.
Since 2018,
Yeah.
you have so many people who came through your doors.
Yeah.
So this is your house, and we have the walls painted. I mean, there's not a spot left. Everything is painted. We have some art everywhere in the house.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But just like I say, you are traveling the country.
Yeah.
So what brings you over all these places?
So I just pretty much grew up in Southern California as a huge fan of graffiti and, you know, testing it out myself a little bit, but it was a much different time.
You
back then.
have.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as free-for-all as it is now. You know, it wasn't celebrated for sure.
It was not.
It was the outlaws of society, you know, and it was a major thrill to do it. But, you know, it led to a lot of trouble and things like that. So it wasn't long for me. So me and my wife, we moved to Florida in 2002. And 2004, I started working in Opelika at a great rent-to-own company doing repossessions. And that took me all over all the wonderful spots of Miami that people don't really ever go to.
All right. Yeah, well, repossession, I can imagine that, yes.
One of the big ones back then was Overtown. And we had lots of clients in Overtown. And that brought me through Wynwood, which at that time, this is 2004. So Wynwood was, you know, still a little bit halfway functioning warehouses. Not everything was abandoned yet. But it was definitely covered in graffiti, and it caught my attention. So I started noticing that, and that got me, you know, kind of excited to kind of follow the scene a little bit. And yeah, I guess fast forward a few years later, it was they were doing the art walk and stuff in Wynwood. And my draw to Florida has always been Miami, since I'm not from here originally.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was the thing to be in Miami. So everyone wanted to do everything Miami, you know. But the Chaotic 954 is, of course, living in Broward the whole time.
No, yes. But why chaotic?
So Chaotic comes from, again, growing up in Southern California, we are very into cars. And our car club out there originally was called Chaotic Lows. We did that for a year or two. Then we switched to Chaotic Creations. And then eventually we just kind of were chaotic. And we moved out to Florida. We brought our cars with us. We did the car show scene for, you know, a lot of years, from the 90s all the way until just up a few years ago, really. You know, I still have the cars in the garage.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And yeah, that was Chaotic. And it just kind of took on a name for itself. And our friends and stuff, you know, all embraced it. And, you know, half the people have Chaotic tattoos running around. And I even had a friend in California. He's passed away 2 years ago, but his name was Chaotic West Coast. A lot of people actually knew him in Miami. He was a huge supporter of graffiti and street art and stuff, and he was sort of a part-time street art photographer in LA. And so he's the one that kind of got me into, to be honest, into sharing my photos that I was taking back in the day. So I would be in Wynwood cruising around, and I was nervous to talk to anybody, you know. I was like, oh man, I don't know these guys, you know, they're aliens to me, you know, they're creating amazing work, you know. And I'm like, I don't know, you know, it was weird, you know. Anyway, and this guy, was like, oh no, you got to get Instagram, man. That's the thing we got to do. He's like, you take photos in Miami, I'll take photos in LA, and we'll share them back and forth, and we'll see who does the best, who gets the most likes.
All right.
You know, so yeah, it kind of started as that, and I was taking really shitty photos, you know, it was fisheye, you know, everything, you know, and
Yeah, then you use one of those magic filters, and then your photo becomes like, wow.
you know, putting the bling on it, you know, trying to make them look nice, and not realizing that I was destroying the, you know, the photo by destroying the artwork.
I did that too at the beginning. Yes,
Yeah,
I was using those filters a little bit too much,
Contrast,
and yes,
everything, and
oh yes. And whenever the wall was actually blue, it turned out to be gray. Or it turned out to be. I mean, the
Exactly.
color was so off.
yeah. So
I was
did that.
creating
I
too.
That's kind of what I did in the beginning for sure, and then I don't know, it came to a point. I think Wynwood is really what opened my eyes to it. Like the fact that these walls, even though like they were so well done and like such prolific artists painting them, they were so temporary, right?
They
So
are.
we've seen every wall being repainted 55 times, right, in the last you know,
Correct.
12 years.
That is incredible.
Yeah, and that got me thinking like, oh my God, before I even knew who Martha Cooper was, I was like, oh my God, like we actually need to document this
We do.
properly, not with, putting contrast and tearing the, making the photos like that. So that got me started thinking, oh man, I need to get the shots all square. I can't have cars in them. Oh man, I need to buy a drone so I can eliminate the cars on the really big walls. 'Cause you won't
Okay.
notice the cars.
Yeah.
The shots up here, you know, on a massive wall, like the one-up walls in Wynwood, you know. So like those things. And so I started really getting serious about documenting it probably like around maybe 2016, really taking like really good photos and then posting a lot in 2017 and, and beyond. And, and then the traveling stuff came from my brother-in-law got a Kaotik tat.
Wow.
My
What a cool
brother-in-law,
tattoo. Yes.
he worked on cigarette boats in Kentucky. He went up there. He was down in Miami for a lot of years. Got an opportunity in Kentucky. Went to Kentucky. He ended up passing away. And after that, I was basically I transitioned to a stay-at-home dad after that because I was spending too much time away from the family with the job that was getting me nowhere. So I hit the road, and every summer now, this was our 10th summer, me and the kids going on Kaotik street art road trips. And
Wow. So you bring the whole family with you.
Yep. Lisa,
Oh,
my wife,
nice.
she'll fly in and meet us different places, and if the place is cool enough and the price is right, then she'll show up, you know? So one time we drove all the way to Montreal. We took like 27 days to drive to Montreal from here.
Nice.
4 hours a day.
4 hours.
4 hours,
That's
4 hours,
it.
4
Yeah.
hours, yeah. I had the little one. She was tiny, a year old. And we base everything around street art. So I go from here to St. Pete to Jacksonville to Atlanta, and just boom, boom, boom to Charleston, all the way up Charlotte, all the way to, wherever the path is going to go.
Yes.
Around street art. So I've been lucky enough to see street art in 48 states.
48 states now.
I'm missing North Dakota and Hawaii.
Why not
I got the rest
North
of them.
Dakota? There's no walls over there? I'm sure they have
I was
some.
too tired. I was like, I'll get it next time. And now I regret it.
Oh, Hawaii, I can imagine that. It's a little far, but I mean, they have the powwow over there. They do a lot of things.
I think I'm saving that one for number 50, That'll be a celebration
Okay.
number 50. But yeah, I've shared street art from all those places, and been able to document a lot of cool cities and cool projects that I've just walked into.
Yeah.
Not even scheduled to be there, just like, oh man, this festival's going on. This is cool,
Yeah, well, during summertime, I can imagine that throughout the country, this is when they happen. So, so you're gonna have to publish a book for all this, because sharing on the internet, it's one thing on the social media, but
Yeah.
is this
The book
maybe
thing
one of
is-
your projects?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about books with different like friends of mine, other photographers and stuff from different places, and we've talked about kind of doing like a collective book, with a bunch of different people.
Which would be nice,
And,
yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. But the main thing, well, I guess now it's changing, because now what I heard is you could actually
You can
upload
self-publish.
a book to like Amazon, and then as people buy it, they print the book.
Exactly, yes. Self-publishing thing.
Yeah,
yes.
so that seems interesting, but definitely in the beginning was tough. I'm like, how are we going to print 1,000 books? And then we have to give a book to every artist that we feature.
You have to,
Because we're not gonna, this is their art,
Yes,
So,
and then
yeah,
you
we
need
were-
to get authorization to publish the the photos
Yeah.
because the art is on it. And
Yeah.
just like,
But a lot of street art photographers have been, super kind to me from the beginning. I've got a lot of access to really, to meet tons of artists that way. Lou from Australia, Street Art Australia is her Instagram.
Okay.
She was a really cool person, came out to Miami a couple times and, we took her around and I was her tour guide in Miami and I was honored to do that because she had published books and everything.
all right.
One of my original street art friends, Tam Yench in Brighton, UK, he would come over here and he worked for Virgin and he would travel everywhere and document street art everywhere. And he came to Florida many times and same thing, meet up and, go do stuff. And then I flew over to him and he took me all around UK and went to New Art, Aberdeen one year during the festival. Amazing stuff.
I'm sure.
Up to Crystal Ship in Ostend, Belgium.
Okay.
And
Ostend,
so I've been able to get some of that international documentation too, which is really, really exciting for, someone from the U.S. where the buildings I feel like here look,
I
it doesn't matter where you go.
It's a different shape. It's a different thing, and it's a different scene, and it's a different and the art is different because they're from different backgrounds, so they have different vision of their own culture sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We talked with the registered artist, with Sergio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now you're going to be working this year on that AWOL project.
Yeah, we've been working diligently, I guess, this year, you could say, trying to get, trying to accommodate lots of artists who have reached out over the years. He's done an amazing job building up building the brand, I guess. A lot of people know that to reach out for him if they want to, Wynwood being renamed by Golden to Window Wood. So people are losing, people are losing their, opportunities to paint. He's worked very hard to get this thing, to get some recognition and people kind of identify it as a nice festival to come down. And if you don't have a wall available to you or to paint in Wynwood or Miami, then a lot of people reach out that way. So we get artists that way, as well as me traveling around and, meeting people all the way, everywhere I go.
Yeah.
My travels definitely are a lot different now than they were in the beginning because, now every city I go into, I tend to know 1 or 15 people. And, that often leads to, great networking,
Yes, I'm sure.
The 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. networking is my favorite, my specialty. So, be hanging out and, getting to know people and then, having them come down and paint and stuff like that. So this year we've got quite a few new people coming in and, be their first time going at it.
Going at it?
Yeah.
Going
it's going to be
for the
exciting.
wall. So actually from all your travel, who did you bring to the festival this year?
This year we have these couple of people coming from Northern California. Kyle Sanders and Miss Teals is her IG. They're coming down to paint for the first time. That's going to be, I'm super excited to see them be part of the project. Also, we have Coco Collab. It'll be their first time not painting in Miami, but their first time painting for AWOL.
All right.
So that'll be, that's going to be a fun one. Last year we had a couple of people that me and Sergio both met through Wide Open Walls, Max Ehrman and Kova, Shane Grammer as well. Really amazing artists, all of them. And they'll be participating again this year, so it'll be their second year in a row. These guys came last year and they crushed the 3 biggest walls that we had. And I think those were the biggest walls that AWOL's ever had.
Yes.
Citrus, Citrus K through 8 in Little Havana. So those guys are all coming back. We got a cool little, kind of a little rooftop thing going at Southside Elementary in Brickell this year. It's this strange kind of place. They have a 3-story building with like 8 walls up on the top. So we're going to have some people painting up there. Looking forward to that.
All right.
My Dog Size is coming back to the project this year. First time since 2018.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in town for a little while.
Yeah. So he'll be back.
British artist, yes.
Yeah.
Very, very talented.
It's great. I just went to a festival in Blaine, Washington called Overall Festivals. They brought me there as their photographer for this year and met him, and Emily Ding painted out there and a few other people. And yeah, it was a really cool time. Me and him ended up taking a road trip all the way from basically Vancouver, Canada, down to Sacramento. And it was amazing through the redwoods and everything. So I got to take a trip with a guy from the UK. Had never seen those things, and he was freaking out. So I had time to butter him up and get him back on the E-wall train. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing all these people, get after it. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I remember him painting a few years back, and he was right across from Wynwood 317 galleries, and in the eye he had the reflection of the gallery across the street. That was absolutely brilliant.
The police in the eye.
Yes, the police.
Their mural.
That was absolutely brilliant. The way he transferred that. That was
his work is very well thought out for sure. I love it. The way he comes up with his idea and things in the middle, and being able to see his process beginning to end. Like, that's the thing that I really get excited about now. I mean, I still love going around traveling and finding walls, taking photos, and all that is great. But I mean, being able to have like a driver's seat, literally, to so many amazing artists, and seeing their process from the beginning to the end is like, to me, man, it's exciting. It's fun.
It is exciting, and those murals are as beautiful as they can be once you know the artist. Once you get to know, you just sit down, you have a beer, or then you see them painting live. This brings another dimensions to the art. It's something you have a real relationship. Just like me, whenever I get to meet some artists, and then they invite me to the studio to see the canvas work and everything they do. You, in your own place, you have so many people who come and paint your walls. So we are very, very, very fortunate to be able to be exposed to that. And these artists are just amazing. And the way they share this with us, it's
for sure. And I think the fact that this is like an era of art history, and it's the urban art era taking over museums and galleries after they already took over the street.
Correct.
That's never, it's never been a thing before. So I think it's amazing for us it's an honor to be able to be part of that, just to be accepted and part of the scene, as part of the scene,
And we're very fortunate in Miami, very fortunate. I mean, things happen
for sure.
year round, in this week of Art Basel, like we say, it's just like, it's a whole big family reunion year after year after year.
And it's always there's so much going on always. It's impossible to keep up with everything. I have right now, as we speak, we're hosting Timon de Lot. He's here from Rotterdam, and he's painting right now as we speak in Fort Lauderdale. So, my family's hosting him. He's here cooking dinner for us at night. And,
nice.
Yeah, having conversations about America versus the world. It's a funny thing,
It's probably,
So,
especially this time now.
Exactly. And my kids get that exposure as well. My kids got to sit here with Case McLean while he painted in the front room, during the Super Bowl.
What a lot.
Yeah.
Having Case.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Tom Bob, he came and did a piece, and he painted during Basel, and I wasn't even here. I couldn't even be at the house. My wife had to document it.
It's a team family. It's a family effort.
It was last year. I was helping out with AWOL, and he wanted to come paint. But everybody's been amazing. Sonny is a really good friend of mine. He painted a massive gorilla there, and he's painted all over the world, and now I've traveled with him a lot of places, and kind of I don't know how much assistance I'm offering other than keeping the beer cold, but hey, it's a job for everybody.
That's what I said. We were talking with Sergio. I mean, the parents can bring a case of cold water. It's fine. You keep the beer cold to the artist.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the best thing.
If any parents are listening, please bring cold water.
Bring cold water to the artist
as much as possible.
A lot of sandwich for the artist too. Anything helps. Anything helps. So So that's that relationship that we are very, very fortunate to share with those artists. Absolutely incredible. I mean, and year after year after years, you've been doing it, and then traveling the country and the world.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to be able to do all that for sure.
So, since you travel so much, what do you think might be the biggest difference between Miami and some other part of the country? Do artists paint the same way? Do they more or less do the same thing, the same work? Of course, it's different buildings. Sometimes you have those brick buildings.
Yeah, I think the thing about the difference between Miami and everywhere else is Miami is open canvas.
Yeah.
So as much as we love the walls, they're not staying.
They're not staying.
You know, so
that's what we mentioned.
Yeah. So that's a lot different. You know, you go to Houston, the walls are permanent. You know, they have great walls, amazing work, amazing artists, local artists, and people from, you know, international. But the walls are, you know, they're there forever. So it's a different kind of, you know, it's amazing to go there and look at these big walls and see everything that they have. And it's, you know, I don't know, it's like permanent gallery. Yeah. Most places are that way. Most places are not repainting, you know, 100 layers of paint on one wall, you know? So, I mean, I love Miami. It's my favorite street art city in the U.S. New York is super vibrant and it has, you know, a million different little areas, you know, there's this here and this here, you know, all that. And I've been going to Bushwick now for like maybe the last 5 or 6 years and having an amazing time in Bushwick, and seeing all those guys paint. And a lot of my good friends have painted there and we've been able to hang out and, you know, do that. And Bushwick's definitely probably the closest thing I would say to Wynwood, you know.
To Wynwood, yes.
For sure.
So it's something we mentioned something. It's the culture, the different culture between the graffiti writers that I love and the muralists that I love too and respect. Yeah. So that's why so many walls in Wynwood or in Miami have to be repainted. We have the taggers, the toys. Will come in and toy these beautiful walls.
Crazy.
And like you say, Golden mentioned that this is what was
becoming window wood.
Window wood.
I was lucky enough. Mr. June was in town painting a wall a couple of weeks ago. He's coming back for Basel, and we were down there. Me, him, and Golden. Golden had left to go to the studio. They had just finished the wall. We were taking some final shots and stuff with the drone, and June left on his little moped, and he went. And I was driving down 29th, and you know Golden's old studio in the corner. I saw the hole there. And I was right in his face basically. And I was like, no way. So that was like an amazing capture. I was in the right place at the right time. I did nothing, you know, other than be there. Literally took the photo, drove straight to his studio and reported the news. And he was
what happened actually to this wall? I just saw a big plank of wood the other day.
Yeah, I guess they were putting a big window in there, I guess. It's exactly for more, tear the building down or put a window. Either way sounds bad. Especially an amazing piece of art there, you know?
Yeah, this was a beautiful wall.
Yeah. So, but it's a good thing for the projects, you know, for Raw Project, and I think for AWOL as well, is like, you know, people coming to town and you know, they're having less opportunity to paint. So, you know, having projects to be able to go paint at a school and, you know, be able to have that network of friends and hang out and meet new people is a really cool opportunity, you know.
It is absolutely an incredible opportunity for the children to have the school painted and everything, but this is not the same impact of having a wall on the street where it's really for everybody.
Yes, for sure.
So that's also...
No, I don't think that I'm not totally thinking that, you know, Miami Wynwood is, you know, going to go away. I think because as long as we have Basel... you know, we have our Basel happening every year. You have tons of artists that are showing in these fairs and tons of artists. Everybody wants to come down and get a piece of Miami weather. Right.
Yes.
So, you know, and to be able to come and hang out with their friends. And I actually think that the Art Basel last year, you know, or our version of, you know, you say Art Week in for us in Wynwood, because I didn't even make it to the beach last year. I think 2 years in a row I never made it to Scope, you know. I used to love it.
Really?
That was like the number one spot.
That fail.
I know. Anyway, but yeah, I think that, you know, people come and they're going to come and hang out with their friends and be able to be here and then go to the fairs and check that out. So we're always going to have that camaraderie, you know, of people wanting to go to Miami, and if walls are available,
it's something we don't want to miss.
Yeah.
We are waiting for that 1 week, year after year after year.
Absolutely.
Me, I take a 10 days vacation from work.
Yeah.
And when my coworkers say, where are you going to on vacation? I say, well, Miami.
Yeah.
Now
Absolutely.
they know, they don't bother asking me no more.
Yeah. We even, I mean, the last few years, we've incorporated Thanksgiving into it because people have been painting so early.
Yes, so we had an extra week last year
and now this year looks like that too.
Yeah, November, no, not this year, but last year, November had 5 weeks.
Yeah, well, what I mean by people are starting so early.
Oh, yeah, they do.
I mean, if you just look at what these guys are doing, the walls, let's say.
Yeah. Yes, correct.
So, you know, there's tons of people already painting and people already making moves to do things. So we, a couple of years ago, I think this will be our 3rd or 4th year, hosting a Thanksgiving, basically, for everybody.
Oh,
and
yes.
so we've been having Thanksgiving here with, you know, people from everywhere. And
Nice.
that's been tons of fun. So yeah, we've been hosting that, and
Awesome.
Fun time.
Awesome. So you got everybody to paint their own turkey using the hand, and then they
Exactly.
they draw their 5 fingers with a hand on a piece of paper, and then you glue some feathers. Make your own turkey.
Yeah. It's amazing.
All right.
Glad to be a part of it, man.
Yes. So, well, Brian, thank you so much for sharing that story, those incredible stories, and for the work that you put for this community.
Thank you.
Like you said, documenting, which was the project also with the token of the wall. And this is also what I try to do a little bit with this podcast now, just to add a voice and give a voice to all these artists, amazing artists, and not just artists, but then you have like you, the photographers, you have the art galleries who are pushing everybody who's making that community so special to us.
Thank you.
So special to us.
Thank you.
All right, Brian, thanks again. Well, guys, we'll see you all next week with another... next week might be actually next year. We might be already in 2025. And we get plenty of good stuff happening next year. All right, so stay tuned. Follow us on the podcast, on all the social media, on all the different streaming platforms. We are everywhere. All right, see you all soon again. Bye-bye now.